Space, the final frontier.
Someone cold cut? No. Clud. Cold cut.
Cold cut.
Do you remember being on Desmond's? Of course I do. Which
Follow
was a
up
UK
on the
sitcom.
show.
Did I enjoy working on the show? Yes, I did. Very much.
It's the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast.
And we're back with the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast. I think this is episode 152. I'm Michael Ball. We've had a break, but I'm always joined by the very, very faithful co-host, the person who knows lots of things more sci-fi based than even me. That's Martin Fowler. Hello, Martin.
Oh, thank you very much. That was a very mature, grown-up sort of intro. I like that.
We've been away for 3 weeks now. I've become more of a sophisticated, mature person, you see.
Okay,
you can tell.
okay.
Even though my hair's getting more silver and white every time I look in the mirror, but there we go. How are you?
Right. I'm good.
I've thrown him. He doesn't know what's going on.
I'm good. It's 6 hours of my life I won't be getting back. I was warned.
Oh, now listen,
I was
right?
told.
Martin told me all about this series to watch it, and every week he was reminding me about this series. I never watched it. I heard it was absolute shite. So you're more the Marvel man than I am. I don't mind Marvel. I like the older Marvel stuff, but you obviously staying with the current stuff. So let's hear first of all, Marvel Secret Invasion had some big stars in it. Tell me what you thought about it.
Well, that worked draw for me. That way, it was. You had Olivia Colman, Martin Freeman, Don Cheadle, and of course Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson.
And he's been off Earth on this space station, so protect. I don't know with these scrolls, and it comes out these shape-shifting aliens. There's 1 million of them living on Earth, and he made them a promise years ago that he'd find them a home. Or that the humanity had accepted them. Well, obviously that didn't, but he used them to infiltrate and do stuff with S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that. And that's it. And then we found out he were married to one of them, but she were having issues because she were at a point where she wanted to be a Skrull in front of him. I mean, that dragged on. And he was, saying you've got to stay human because people aren't ready for this. And there were these terrorist ones, and it was like they were going to cause World War III.
Yeah, I heard they were trying to interfere with politics. They were trying to actually influence World War III.
And it all backfired. And the whole story was pointless. There were no war machine in it. Don Cheadle was a Skrull all along. And the story just got worse. Every episode it was just getting worse. And then I thought we're going to get some vindication in 5 and 6. We're going to get something now, some payoff.
Right.
And we got nothing.
You got nothing.
We got nothing. He went off with her, and she become a Skrull in front of him, and they got on a
Oh
spaceship.
God! Every time you say Skrull, it sounds like you're going to say Scrubber. I don't know why.
Do you know what I mean?
And he ended up with a Scrubber. But go on. Sorry, go on.
And like it was like there's 1 million of them left still on Earth. Oh yeah, that was it. They invented a machine. And they could get this stuff called the Harvest in Endgame. They were all DNA everywhere of all these superheroes and aliens, and they collected all DNA and they created a Super Skrull.
Right.
And then there were this, and then she were in. I think Emily something.
Lee Clark, is it? Oh, I know the one you mean.
I think Amelia Clark. That's it. She
yeah.
were in this vortex thing where they both became Super Skrulls, and they had the power of everybody as being in the MCU, from Thanos to Thor. They had all their powers, and there were a big punch up, and she won and killed Evil One, and then she just went and wandered off back into the world. So she's like the most powerful super being in the world. There's 1 million Skrulls that are not happy,
right.
And they're still on Earth. And he a big 10-minute scene just went on and on. Where spaceship come for him and she become a Skrull, and he goes, "I've always accepted you." Yeah, and like let's get the puke bucket out, man. And even this super fight lasted about 6 minutes. This was like the put the budget into this.
Apparently, the CGI was terrible. Apparently,
it were bad. All of it were bad. And the only one person that I did like in it was Olivia Colman, but she's good in anything.
she's good in everything. Yeah, she was actually in Doctor Who, the first episode of Matt Smith's era. Yeah, and in The Office with Ricky Gervais. So
yeah,
I like her a lot. Yeah, and Peep Show.
Good. And she's like an Oscar-winning actress.
Yeah, she's a great actress. She's a brilliant actress.
But this thing had set through cost $212 million to make for 6 episodes of absolute crap.
So where do you think where did the money go? Is it on the actors, on the salaries?
Well, I don't. Well, I assume it went on the actors.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. As you said that, with that money, I'd assume it's the actors because you've got some big, high-profile actors involved.
Well, that's what drew me in. You know, talent. Because I'm a big Don Cheadle fan. I like Don Cheadle. He was in that film with that porno film about. I forgot what it's called now.
Deep
Mark. What do they call him? That actor, Mark.
Mark of the Todger? I don't know.
No, not Mark of the Todger. It was the film that made. I forgot what it's called now. It won a lot of awards, and it made him a star. Mark. He used to Marky Mark and the Funky Crew. Him.
Okay, I don't know him, but go on.
He was in the Planet of the Apes movie, the Tim Burton one.
Oh, okay.
I like him. I think he's quite good in some film. He was in Ted, the lead actor in Ted.
Ted. Okay, right.
Him. I forgot his full name. Well, it's like Don Cheadle was in that film, and then he obviously his career evolved, and he ended up playing War Machine and whatever that guy's in. He's funny. He's just a great actor. Anything that guy's in is good. In this, he was playing like this villain. His character, they kidnapped all these people and replaced them with squirrels.
Okay.
And it was just absolute. I thought, oh, come on. I knew by episode 2 he was a Skrull. And I thought, where's War Machine? Because you're thinking, well, you're going to get War Machine in this. Some kind of superhero action against the Skrulls. Because you see, this is based on one of the best graphic novels ever done. Marvel's Secret Invasion, and what they put on were nothing like that graphic novel.
The thing is, from my perspective, you are much more of a long-term expert in the Marvel universe. You know, like Skrulls and all these races and stuff, which is like a lot of it is like foreign to me. So I'm trying to think to myself that if this was a Star Trek special 6-part season with like some of the well actors, which again we've had this year. And they messed it up. I would understand from your perspective that it would be a real big letdown, shall we say. So I can understand exactly how you're going. That's what I'm saying. So to me, I don't like Marvel enough to think, oh, I've got to watch this. And I was after the She-Hulk fiasco, which you know very well what I thought about that. I have been quite soured off Marvel TV shows, shall we say. I thought WandaVision was okay. Are you still there? You're frozen up. Hang on a second. It's all right. The internet's a bit funny. Okay, that's right. And then you had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was all right. I didn't mind it. It was okay. And then we had Loki, which was all right.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
But when I saw the She-Hulk, that soured it for me. That was the problem. So, like I said,
She-Hulk.
I know I could stand.
I quite like She-Hulk. I thought they did it quite comic.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's the individual preference, isn't it? But
you see.
Go on.
Marvel, the is where. Right, the whole alternative reality and timelines and variants, they brought it all in. The villain's there. We've seen the villain. He's gonna there's loads of variants of him.
Yeah.
And they're meant to be going to this like big secret war. It's like Doctor Doom becomes God. Reality, it becomes one reality, and he's like omnipotent, and they're all fighting each other, and it's like there's a splinter of each reality put on a world, and then you get these like variant versions of characters, you know.
Right.
And they're building to this, and one of the main characters already here. But until they get the Fantastic Four in, and that, and then it's not going to happen, because what they're doing, we're on this journey to getting there, and the journey has been terrible. Everything that's been released has flopped. All the TV series they've made over last year have just been terrible, and it's just getting worse. And it's not as they're throwing more money around than, you know, $212 million for that. I mean, who signs the checks at Disney?
Well, from what I understand, Disney, they're not as in a bad situation as Paramount. When we last talked, did we talk about the fact that some of the Paramount big shows, well, not biggest shows have been cancelled? Like there's the Grease sequel thing that's been cancelled apparently, and obviously Star Trek. Yeah, there's a sequel with the girls from Grease. I can't remember what it's called. That's been cancelled. Not that I'm going to watch it, but obviously Prodigy's been
made one film. It was a classic. Just leave it at that.
Yeah, but they don't do that. They've got the rights to the Grease franchise. They're going to try and milk it. And obviously the cartoon series Prodigy, which I've never seen, part of the first few episodes.
No, I have not watched it yet.
But I'll watch it after Strange New Worlds. I'm going to watch the rest of the animated stuff, because I'm going to have a big void until we get some live action stuff. So I suppose we're going to ask you. I know you've done reviews on your channel, which is By the Gods of Science Fiction on YouTube, a great YouTube channel. Please subscribe to them, or to him, or to Martin. What do you think of Strange New Worlds, the infamous musical? You haven't posted about that yet. A lot of people love it. A lot of people loathe it. What do you think about it?
I thought it fantastic, and I'm going to tell you why. This series, I was a bit unsure when this series started, when these character Pike wasn't in it as much, and it was about crew members. But I've sat back, I've watched all 9 episodes, and they've been absolutely spectacular. I think what they've done with this, they've got writers that are prepared to take a risk.
A lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate it. Now I like it myself. I'm on your wavelength. I actually think for the most part they've been pretty solid. I like the actors. I like the characters. I like some of the stories. I don't like every episode as much as perhaps the Rick Berman era Trek episodes, but then they had some episodes which I loved and loathed as well. No, but it was good. It's good. It's very good.
But the writers in this series are prepared to take a risk, and they are prepared to go somewhere a bit different. I mean, they could make it all about him sat in a big chair and around him. Past.
Give me a second. YouTube, it's playing up again. My end. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Kill him. Yeah, you're frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be about. It's
no, you're back.
It's fine. Sorry, go on.
But I think they've took a risk, and the background to all the characters I've really enjoyed, and they've added so much depth, and the stories have been very good. The only one I agree with you on was the Trial, the 1OB story.
Yeah. That was the week.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, that was. If it was actually told in half the time, it would have been fine. But it was too padded out for my liking. That was the problem with it. It was more a pacing rather than the story. The story itself was actually quite interesting, but it could have been done in a better. Like I said, Star Trek Continues did a similar thing, and they had a B story which I think worked best. So obviously we had the crossover with the animated series, which I have seen. Quite a lot of that, although I never clicked with it because it's just not my wavelength for Star Trek. I only live action, but
I clicked with it.
I did too. I clicked with it because of the way it was done. It actually made me want to watch the animated series. It was very. There was a 70s cartoon animated crossover. It's a British film. It's not Watership Down. I always think of that one. It's not one. The Water Babies. It reminded me a bit of the Water Babies, where he falls into the water
Yeah.
And then he wakes up in a cartoon world. It's like the reverse of this episode. And
Yeah,
for
yeah.
some reason, the water babies is what comes to me, even though it's a completely different scenario. And it just worked. It worked in respect of these more comical cartoon characters interacting with Pike and the rest of the crew. It was funny. The actor that plays Boimler, I think is the character's name in the
Yeah.
series, he was really funny. It really worked.
He's a good
I was happy with
actor.
him.
He's in the boys. He's in the boys.
Well, it should be in a cartoon.
He
should
was
be...
in. He was. I saw Oppenheimer last week.
Oh, now what was that like?
I've seen Barbie as well.
No, I'm not watching that.
Barbie's. It's funny. It wasn't what I expected.
It's actually. It sounds like it's quite an interesting concept. Actually, it's about.
There's the opening scene is. You remember the monolith in 2001?
Yeah. Oh, they do a spin on it with Barbie dolls. Don't they?
Yeah,
I heard about that. I heard about
got
that.
these young girls playing with tea sets and feeding baby dolls.
Yeah, I heard
and
about
they look
that.
up and she stood there.
And the new Doctor Who's in it as well. Shooty Gut was in it apparently as well.
I said, oh look, Doctor Who's there.
What was he like in it? Was he
But
alright?
it's good. Well, he's nothing in like a big character in it.
I don't know.
There's a lot of dancing.
I just know he's in it. I don't know what he does in it. I don't know anything about this.
He's in it, yeah. Well, all the Kens are like, well, they don't have anywhere to live because Ken's just like, well, he's not popular, is he, Ken?
I don't know.
And well, in Barbie Land, Barbies, they all live in
Barbie
houses.
Land.
Barbie Land, yeah, and all the Kens just, I don't know, they live somewhere, but they don't. They just, I don't know, all Barbies are in charge, and Ken goes to Railway and discovers what it's like being a man.
It's like that song, isn't it? It's like, take my hand, we're off to Neverland. And now it's take my hand, we're off to Barbie Land. I don't know. Weird.
Well, Boimler, he was in Oppenheimer.
Was he?
3 out of it. Yeah, he's in that, yeah. He's doing quite well, mate. He's getting about. He's doing very well. He's like in a lot. He's like a supporting actor in sort of big films now. I can see him becoming a real big star.
Right.
But he gets quality part. I mean, Oppenheimer. Well, personal one. Well, it's hard going. It's free. It's over nearly 3.
Oh, is it really
3
long
hours
film?
long.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
I hate long films.
Yeah. There's like 600 threads going on, and it's over dramatic and very mwah, and it's like just as you think it's finished, there's another hour of it.
Oh, I hate long films.
Yeah, I want to impress with that. Sorry, I was bored shitless, to be honest. I like intelligent films. I like it, but this, it would all over the place. But some people, like I saw a film review the other day. We're going on. Well, I won't say what it is, but the film, everything that comes out is marvelous. Everything, even if it's bad, it's marvelous. And I could tell it was when he reviewed Oppenheimer. I could tell that. It was like he was saying, "Oh well, it was really good." And I thought you haven't got a fucking clue about this film, because you're too interested in pop culture stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You went to see this fucking film, and this will be on your step. And you go see the Meg, and you think everything's marvelous. And he said, I was watching. I started laughing. He was like, "Oh, and it's a very good film, and it's all, and there's so much going on." But I wouldn't go see it again. And I thought that, and he pulled this expression. I thought you were fucking bored stiff when you went to see that, because you didn't fucking recommend I'd go back and watch it again. I mean, it might be worth like watching, but I can't. I mean, if I had it now at home, I don't think I'd watch the whole film in one night. It'd be in 2 parts.
I don't like very long. I don't like long drawn out films. No, I don't like films that long.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my computer is playing up my end again. I think it's my computer. I rebooted it, but it's still really slow. So give me a second.
All right then.
Okay, that's all right. Give me a second.
Do you remember what your parents used to do with tellies in the 80s?
In what context?
Do you remember? Yeah, when Sally used to get a bit stopper. Do you remember?
I'm sorry, mate. It's frozen up again, like, I can't hear what you're saying, like, give it a second, this bloody computer is playing up like mad, and it shouldn't be. Let me just turn this off a minute.
Do you want to reboot?
No, I reset about half an hour. What I do is I reset the computer about half an hour before we're doing, but I think it's clear now, I think you're back now, so we'll carry on. So
All right, no, back in the 80s,
that's
when
it.
there was static on the
Oh,
telly,
yeah.
on the telly. Do you remember?
Yeah. No, that's not good.
Banging the computer to work, and then it's all shattered.
I want to bang this computer. I've seen Foundation, the first 3 episodes, season 2. It's very good, very enjoyable, well worth checking out when you get a chance. I think it's 10.
How many episodes?
10.
How many's been on so far?
3. Only 3 so far.
All right. Okay. What's is it been any good?
Yeah, it's quite heavy. It's quite heavy going, and
Yeah.
I really need to rewatch the first season again. But it's got a lot of the characters from I won't say much, but all the characters from the first season are in the second season. There are plot elements. It's jumped a bit in the future now, and you've got the Foundation, the idea of the society going in either a good path or a bad path. You've got the Empire with the 3, with Day, Dawn, and Dusk still involved, and you've also got the guy from Chernobyl, and he's in it again. And you've also got it's good. It's hard to. It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch.
Yeah.
What else have I seen? I can't think. I don't think I've seen anything else majorly actually recently. I'm trying to think.
Well, they've cancelled the Star Wars series.
Which one have they cancelled?
I saw it before I come on here. Some Star Wars series coming out, and Mr. H reviews they not Acolyte. It's another one. It's something about the Rebels or something.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, they've cancelled it. Yeah, they've cut the financing. So.
Actually, I'm in the Star Wars thing now. I mean, the Acolyte's being made. Ahsoka's being made. Skeleton Crew's being made.
Oh, I've got it. Star Wars: The High Republic cancelled.
Oh, that never got off the ground though, did it?
Yeah, there's a video just come up. Yes, Star Wars: The High Republic.
Apparently, Lando, Star Wars Lando. Apparently, that's still going to progress. You know, with the actor that was.
I hope so. I hope it's
the same actors involved with it that did the Solo. I quite liked it.
Oh well, that's good.
Yeah.
He'd make a perfect. I've been for that. I mean, it's. I mean, all this stuff that's coming out is costing hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, you know, you and I, we've watched so much, and you know, I think if it's bad, we call it out for being bad. You know,
we're not a hate reviewer.
No,
we
we're not.
will always. I mean, I would say I've actually rewatched, and you're going to hate me for this. I rewatched Andor season 1.
You're a brave man.
It's not as bad on the second viewing. It's not as bad.
Really?
Do you know what the problem is? It still does. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. The pacing is wrong, and it feels it's a bit up himself. It's like, oh, we're a very mature Star Wars. So we're on, you know, we've got Mon Mothma and all this stuff, and we are doing this, and it's kind of like we're just Star Wars it's got to have more of a. I don't know.
It's about hope, isn't it? It's about hope.
No, but it's trying to make it as if it's the real world, and I think Star Wars doesn't need to be too near the real world. It's more about the Force and fantasy and magical lightsabers and good and evil.
Gone. Forget it. That's gone.
But that's but it's too much. It's too like, oh, we're the most mature Star Wars series that we ever made. Well, just give me a bloody TIE fighter and a fucking bloody, you know, sword fight with lightsabers.
Give me Darth Vader marching on a planet with 1 million stormtroopers.
I mean, like, a load of people hated Kenobi.
Blasting it, you know.
I still think Kenobi.
I like Kenobi.
I think it's a good series. I really do.
I can understand why he will like that as well. He had no support.
The last episode.
On his own.
the last episode when they had that second fight with the helmet getting broken and everything. It was brilliant. It was really, really epic.
Yeah, no, well, and I loved the ending. He could have took him out.
But it should have been. It should have been a movie. It should have been a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Not a 6-episode miniseries. No. That's where it went wrong.
You know, he looked at Vader. He said, "You know, I blame myself, but it was you that have done all this to yourself." And he's right. And he said, "I'm not going to kill you. You have to live with yourself, man. Yeah. That's your putting." And he walks away, and it was beautiful with that.
Really solid. Really solid. I like Boba Fett though. I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. And,
I have a sneaky liking for it.
I like the fact. I like the fact that we had some great. I love the Sand People thing, which is very, very Dances with Wolves kind of esque vibe about it. I wish Boba Fett had been harder and less of a diplomat and more of a soldier and more of a warrior, and that's where people were disappointed about that series. And also the Mandalorian, but I still enjoyed it.
Years later, and
you're different.
All the characters, haven't you? You changed, haven't you? You know.
I mean, Jesus, I'm 50 now. I mean, I think I was a bit different when I was 20.
Well, that's what I mean. You know. So I think I can't understand why. Like, they give this stuff to people to write and recreate it or take it somewhere, and they end up screwing it up.
They do.
And all they've got to do, all the cannons there for them to pull out. I'm excited about Ahsoka series.
I can't wait for that.
Thrawn.
I know.
Thrawn, I want to see.
I know.
What I'm not bothered about. I want to see him.
I'm not going to get too excited though. I'm not going to have my hopes too high because a lot of these series I do get disappointed. You just think, look, hopefully it's going to be good. Be aware it could be another Cyril from Andor again. It might be a slow.
We'll never talk about that ever again. We never. Cyril and his mother. You're a braver man than me, my friend. I mean, for you to go back in there
give it a go.
And take on 11 episodes of that.
No, 10 episodes. It was 10 episodes, yeah.
10 episodes. You went back in there and battled it out, you know.
Actually, I think it was 12 episodes. But the second season...
You're a braver man than me.
The second season will be jumping a year after every 3 episodes, it will jump a year ahead.
So Cyril and his bloody mother are going to be in it again then, right?
Well, yeah.
And this time she's back. I mean, you see what fucking horrible that is.
Well, what if Cyril becomes a Jedi or becomes a Sith or something and kills his mother or something?
I don't know. I think Cyril's going to be getting it off with her. I mean, it's you know, I think Cyril's going to be having a big smile on his face.
Okay, so it might be, you know, it'd be good for his libido. It'd be good for his, you know, he might have a smile on his face. He's always so bloody miserable.
He gets the claws into him, but I think she'll play him and send him off to be sacrificed. You know? I hope. Hang
on. When you say play him, it sounds a bit pornographic. Sorry.
Well, I don't mean. I'm on about because she's got an agenda, and that she'll do the deed with him. Cyril will be
and play him, exactly.
And then I want the episode where he takes her, the IS officer, round to his mother's fortnight. This is my mother.
What for a cup of tea or something?
Yeah, and mother's just absolutely horrible.
Man, this is my girlfriend. She's in the Empire.
I hope we get that, because if we get that, that will be the highlight moment of Andor season 2 for me. That I couldn't give a shit about the rest of it. I want Cyril to get it off with her. I do, but she will get rid of him at the end. He'll end up sacrificing himself.
Well, it's been stopped. Sort of like I think they're 2/3 the way through production, so it's not quite all done. Which is I'm sick of this writer's strike. When are we going to get through this bloody writer's strike in America?
Giving up.
Anyway, look, we're going to go into go on. We've already got
any news on Stargate?
As far as I know, it's still up in the air. Obviously, Jay on Sidetrek is the man to check out. Check him out.
Yeah.
Sidetrek on, and he was interviewing Dominic Keating, and he was on.
Yes, I saw that. I
was really amazed about that. So that's a bit of a feather in the cap. So he's doing well, and he's a really nice guy. So well done to him. He'll let me know.
So it's not coming back then.
Well, no, I think it is. It's still. I think everything's up in the air, and the writer's strike's not helping. So it's imminent that we should hear something. I assume. I'll let you know. Then. Right.
Then. Well, I will see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, which is going to be an interesting one. So we'll be right back.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
Focus of the Week.
Right, so we're back with a interesting film, TV, movie, whatever this is. This is something that Martin told me about. It's from 2023. It's a very, very recent thing. I think it was released in April this year, and that was War of the Worlds: The Attack. This is no way affiliated with the BBC production from 2019, which is still something I never actually quite recovered from. But it was a British production. It was set in a contemporary setting. It actually went to places quite a lot where I've used to live and work and all sorts of things. It hasn't got a big cast, but I don't know how. This literally had no promotional material anywhere. Martin, who of course is such a good person for finding out this stuff, told me about this. I watched it. He watched it. What do you think of it, Martin?
It was obviously it was. I think this was Kickstarter funded.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about
I
it.
think so. I might be right. It was shown at a couple of cinemas, like as a premiere. So I assume it's probably been on like a festival circuit somewhere.
Okay.
And it's I've not found it's a buy on Blu-ray or out like that. Funny enough,
It might be early days. It might be come out. Maybe it'll come out later on.
I think you can get it on Amazon.
Okay.
But I watched it and I was totally impressed by it. I thought
Yeah, I was as well.
the only thing it lacked was the budget, but I think what they had, they did incredibly well.
You can see it there. And my phone is going, but let's ignore it. Sorry. Oh, actually, give me a second. Can you hear my TARDIS going? Hang on a second. Hi, I'm on the podcast, darling. You're locked out. Can you walk round? Sorry, just a one-off. Sorry. Okay, bye. Sorry. Carry on what you're saying. That was a blooper, wasn't it? Anyway, carry on. So, say what you're saying. Sorry, Martin. Tell me what you think about it.
I locked myself out a couple of weeks ago. I did. I had a pair. I did. No, I did. I had. They left an Amazon package down at main entrance, and so I thought I'd put my door on latch. I had to start at the bathroom with a pair of slippers on, and my door shut, and I had to phone these people that say, look, I've locked myself out. And they said, oh, well, can you pay for the lock? I said, well, I would, but I said, my phone and my money is in my house, so you need to come
You
out
need to come round to actually, yeah,
and
exactly.
get me in, because I'm stood outside here with an Amazon package, a cigarette, a startup bathrobe, wide fronts, and a pair of slippers.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So we've all done it. I mean, luckily, actually, my neighbours have got the key, but it was it's all right. Like I said, it's just having to go around, but it was just sort of like bad timing. Anyway, so this film obviously was a recent film. I had to say it's not got a very good rating on Internet Movie Database or Rotten Tomatoes, and from what I've seen of this movie, I actually don't think that's actually quite fair. I actually think it was quite an enjoyable movie. I think that for what it was, yes, it didn't have the most money in the world, but I like the fact that it had a lot of characters from the H.G. Wells original story in a more of a contemporary setting. A lot of the actual main characters were quite young in this version. They were like 20-somethings, weren't they? And you had, but that doesn't matter about that. But yeah, I thought it was quite a good film. I mean, how did you hear about it again? Because I never heard about it anywhere. I mean, it was literally, there was nothing on. I sort of like go on to quite a few sci-fi websites, but I didn't. I literally heard nothing about it at all from anywhere. So
well, I was on. Well, I don't.
Well,
I was perusing the magic sites where things appear by magic.
Oh, okay, yes, I think I might be.
And they have a listing like Netflix, and I saw it. I thought, what's this? So
Yeah.
I thought, is it one of the asylum ones? You know, the bad ones. So then I found a trailer on YouTube, and I sent that to you.
That's right. Which is when I thought, oh my
And
god.
I don't know how this got past my radar. I really don't. And then we watched it, and I was blown away because for me, I looked at it and I was looking at a view. If you just had more money, you'd have had a superb
It would have
film
been.
here.
It would have actually. I mean, that's the
Everything were right in it. Everything were right. It were right about when the thing. All right, were taken from a bit of a different perspective. But I thought the guy that played the vicar, he were getting all weird. I thought he was great. That whole scene in the house. I know it lasted about 20 minutes.
That's
but
all right.
I think that I
okay.
didn't mind it because I got into creepy.
Yeah, it was good. It had some good dramatic moments because he was a nutter, and they were stuck in there. They didn't know what to do. That was fine. That's wrong with that.
And they put all the budget into the special effects. They did what they could, and what I loved about, like the soldier guy that turned up, and I loved the tornado planes when they were attacking London.
Yeah,
were getting taken out.
Yep.
And the scene where they pick up a tank and just throw it away.
That's right. I forgot about that.
All that type of stuff. And I sat there and I thought the actors tried. I thought
I've got no. Do you know what? I have got no. Seriously, I mean, we back in one of our first podcasts, I think it was episode 3, was reviewing. It was a General War of the Worlds, but we also focused mainly on the BBC one from 2019.
Yeah.
This is better than that.
No, this was so
That's
much
not
fun.
saying much, but a BBC production with the amount of money they threw into it, compared to this production, which obviously was of a limited financial basis, but I'll give them their due. They really did throw whatever they could into it, and it worked.
It was incredibly well written. I thought the actors
they did a great job.
were incredibly in it. He raised whoever financed this, he got the money together. He put a solid script. And he put most of the budget into what effects he could afford.
Yeah.
And when I saw London burning for the few minutes they put that up there, I was so impressed with that because you think the Tom Cruise version with that type of budget put into that would have looked absolutely spectacular.
Love to have. I think that the only, like I said, if it had more money and actually,
that's all it lacked.
This would have been better than the BBC version. Mind you, I keep saying that. Oh my god, the BBC version was terrible. This is fine.
Oh
dear.
I mean the BBC version will have cost more money than that film.
Absolutely
by a big chunk.
Yeah, this was better than that.
Oh yeah, it was superior. I mean, I know there were a lot of talky pieces in it, but it worked.
I don't mind
because he had limited budget. He had to work with what he got, and he treated us to some beautiful scenes. And all he lacks was money. And then the BBC, how much did that thing cost? 3-4 million? What we had to sit through every week. That'll have been in the millions. I bet that was 3 or 4 million. He probably did this film for what? 400,000.
I was going to say. I don't know how much. I mean, I would have thought it'd be. I don't know how much it would have cost. I would have thought it'd be maybe not 200,000.
I think it'd be under $1 million. It'd be under.
I was going to say half. Actually, at first I thought it was $500,000.
I'd say $500,000.
Yeah.
But he had limited budget. He did some great location shots.
I know.
And I just enjoyed it. I watched the film twice. I watched it twice, mate. I enjoyed it that much.
I think they're in Putney Heath and Wimbledon at one point, and I used to live near Putney Heath, and that looked completely wrong to what the real Putney Heath looks like. But that doesn't matter. I know most people haven't been to Putney Heath, so wouldn't know it. But
they were in my park over at road. My park don't look like that.
No. Yeah. So it's funny that both of our perspectives. Because it's interesting. They went to two places where we have lived, and they got them wrong. But that's fine. That's
fine. We don't mind that.
I don't mind that either. I'm trying to see about. Obviously, it's a UK production. It's 1 hour 25 minutes. It was released on Hulu apparently in August 2023. It's actually released this month, so it might actually become a bit more. I'm really sorry this wasn't bigger. I hope it does get bigger because I honestly thought it was very good.
I wonder why they called it War of the Worlds Attack.
The attack. I don't know. Maybe to differentiate from the BBC version. That's why they're trying to differentiate from all the other versions. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Is there a budget in there? How much?
That's exactly what I'm looking for. I can't see a budget. It just says it's a production, and it says it's only got a 3.5 out of 10 on Internet Movie Database, which I don't think is fair. I don't think that's fair at all. It's rented by Prime Video, so if you want to check it out properly, please do. I would say this: look, in the end, we're just a podcast. We're a reviewing podcast, but I would say this: that if you love the story of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, I love the 1953 version. I really liked the 2005 version. I loathed the 2019 BBC version. This version is financially a bit limited, but it's a good version.
Yeah, but if you had the budget of the Tom Cruise movie,
it's a good version. Oh yeah, we would have been right up there.
If you had the budget of the Tom Cruise movie and gone down that path, where I think the walkers in the Tom Cruise film were incredible.
I would say this about the tripods in this version. I have to say this, and people, I don't know. The heads of the tripods in this are the Sentinels from the Matrix.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, but
that's the only thing. Who cares? It's not a big deal.
Who cares? It worked for me. I love the scene where it picks up a tank and just threw it away. I love that because that's what they do. And it was great. There were scenes in that film that should have been in the Tom Cruise one, like when the city were burning. If you'd have put all, that's what the Tom Cruise one lacked.
Yeah,
it's like if you put these two films together, you get a decent War of the Worlds movie. But what they did in this, I was impressed. I will come out and defend this film. I thought it was bloody good, and for what he did on a limited budget, it just goes to show that there is people out there that can do something. It kept me engrossed. I watched it again after I watched it. So
I've only watched it once, but people are saying things like
twice,
the effects are the best thing about the film. We saw this on Amazon Prime.
But it had limited budget.
No, not exactly. I mean, I don't mind fan films if they're done well. I've been watching a few Star Wars fan films recently. I saw one with Darth Maul, and you might have seen it, where he fights off these. It's just becoming. I can't talk. I can't say it. Just before he becomes the proper Sith, and he's fighting the Jedi, and it's very, very good.
I've seen that.
And great sort of like sort of movements and stuff like that. But here we are. Look, the worst is actually the War of the Worlds by far. That's rubbish. I mean, there's a lot of negative. I mean, do you think it's just that we both just happen to like this and we're wrong? Because I don't think that. I mean, this has got some really hard.
I think it's got potential. I think all it's like if you pumped 100 million into that, you'd have had a superb movie.
Someone says, what's it saying? The most boring version I ever saw. Did you see the BBC version? Did you really see that pile of shite? One person, decent modern take on the original source material. Yeah, it's very hard critics. Worth watching. It's not terrible.
I think. Well, I have to disagree with them.
I agree
because I could see this for what it could be, and that's all I saw with this. And they tried with this film. They so tried with this.
Now, there's a really nice review here from somebody called Zayan Syed. I can't pronounce his surname. And he says, I'm a War of the Worlds fan. I happened to come across this film out of nowhere, like you did when you told me about it. Yep. I watched this with my teenage son, and he loves it. Now he kind of gets all the main points of the original story better as he tries to read the book but couldn't understand anything. I'm happy for the fact that he enjoyed this film in a strange way. I enjoyed it too, although it looks low budget, but an overall good attempt. I think it's really, really good attempt. I just wish it could have got another million thrown into it or something. It would have made it really something special.
It's all it needed, but a bit more cash.
But I also think that the fact that because again it's got low budget, it wasn't promoted anywhere. I don't know where this came from, but I mean, one thing that surprised me.
It was shown at a cinema. It got shown.
Yeah, but why wasn't it in like Sci-Fi? Why was it not like on Cult Times or Down a Geek? I don't know. I didn't hear about it anywhere. Why weren't we aware of it?
I came across it totally accidentally.
By accident,
and then I found out it'd been released this year. I thought it was like an old one because they have the old mobiles in it.
I think we watched it literally about 2 weeks after it was released.
Year old and it's
brand new. It's brand new.
I mean.
It's brand new.
So it worked. All it needed, I was so impressed with that film. I was.
Yeah, I really was. And you told me about it, and I said to you, Martin, where the hell did you hear about this? I'm really pleased you told me about it. And I said to you, right, I've got to review this as soon as we come back from our break. And we have, and we've had a really good sort of like discussion about it. So I would just say, all right, I suppose out of 10, I'll rate it this week for what it is, because it's not a multi-blockbuster film. It's not going to get 10 out of 10. But as it is, for what it is, in respect to the story, the actors, the special effects, I'll give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
I was thinking 8. I'm going to go with same as you.
Okay.
Why? Because the ingenuity of what they did.
Because of what they did for what their financial limitations. Yeah. I really, really think that you should check it out. If you're a science fiction fan, you don't... Look, one thing you should remember with science fiction stories is you don't need to have 200 million thrown in your face just to see a visualize.
No, you don't.
You've got to get the right balance, where obviously older shows, they have got very limited, but it's the story, it's the idea. This was a modern interpretation like the Tom Cruise version was, and it was done, I think, in a very solid way. It was respectful of the story when it was originally made in 1897, whatever it was, and it was a modern take like the Tom Cruise was as well, but it did it in a way that I think that is very complimentary. It's such a wonderful story. It's so poignant for me as a science fiction fan. It's one of my definitive stories in my life, which has made me love this entire genre for so long. And
I mean, the 1950s and the Jeff Wayne album are they're
the gold standard.
They're the defining.
They're the gold standard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then after that, the Tom Cruise version, which is still very good.
You might not agree. I'm going to put this film. You know, I think if they'd have had that type of budget, that film could have been just as good as the Tom Cruise one.
Absolutely. And another contemporary version of it. I loved it. I'm going to watch it again. I only seen it once, but I'm going to watch it again. But I just want to say well done to everybody involved with this production.
Well,
I'm really glad.
Well, it's fascinating because it's made by small-time like actors and filmmakers. I don't mean like people that raised the money. They got this project off the ground, and they managed to market it. Well, not that. Well, it wasn't marketed very successfully, but it's out there, and hopefully, I'm hoping over time people are going to watch this and look at the director and think, you know, there's something in there, and they put hard getting it sorted. And you know, I hold my hands up to him. You know, if he'd have got another million, he'd have nailed it, man.
Absolutely, I think so. But I really, like I said, I mean, we're only a small sort of like, sort of like podcaster thing. But you know, in the end, it's word of mouth. It'd be great if this actually gets noticed, and you know, we're not out to make. We're not sort of like out here to make money. We're not going to make any money from doing this. We do this as fans. But,
yes. I'd just like to say, for £50 if you donate.
I haven't got my cup with me. I can't show. But yeah, I mean,
no, I'm not going there.
No, it's fine. But what I'm saying is that check it out. It's a great story. It's one of the most original sci-fi stories ever, and I think that it's well worth your time.
Do you know the bit? One of the bits I liked, because when they were in the cottage and the vicar's losing the plot, I mean, it was just like, I loved it when you saw the probe come into the house.
Yes, which we've seen in other versions as well.
Yeah, that, and it was bloody creepy, and then it just tied itself round and just lifted him off.
Yeah,
and I loved that. You know, but I found him who played the vicar. I found him quite fascinating.
He was really quite good. Creepy. Yeah, he was quite good.
It worked. He'd lost the plot.
It's Nathaniel, isn't it? Parson Nathaniel was the character.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, I think it's called a curator in this version. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, when he said to us that they've been marked, but you and I will start the new seed of humanity. She's like, I'm getting out of here.
All right, Martin. Well, I think that's pretty much all we've got to say about it. But well worth it checking out. Please do. It's out there. I'm sure you just look it up on Google. There's places where you can obviously download it or purchase it, or whatever means there are to actually probably watch it. So thank you, Martin. So next week, I was wondering if... Oh, no. Sorry. Next week, we're going to do Strange New Worlds, aren't we? The series finale. No, hang on. Yeah, we can. Strange New Worlds season 2 review. That's right, because I'm out of sync now because we record early on, but we would have seen it. So next week we'll review that, and that's going to be an interesting one because it's been an interesting season, some interesting and a lot of friction with the musical, which we've already talked about, and some people saying it's breaking the fourth wall. It's not what Star Trek is about. Just enjoy it. You know, it's just...
it's like that world of the world. Just see it for what it is.
Yeah, just enjoy it. If it's not for you, I mean, obviously, there's plenty of other Star Trek to watch. Go back to Voyager or or to Deep Space Nine. I mean, you know, it doesn't mean that you don't like Star Trek if there's one iteration of Star Trek that you don't like. I'll just quickly say before I go that Star Trek Strange New Worlds, they're trying to throw some interesting oddball ideas into the franchise.
They're taking risks,
and a lot of it, for me, a lot of it's working, which is important.
Yeah.
So on that note, I'm going to leave now. At the beginning of this episode, which you haven't seen yet, Martin, we had Dominic Keating, who was, of course, Malcolm in Star Trek Enterprise, who could not pronounce my YouTube name.
Yeah, I watched that.
And he called it Cold Cut. So I just wanted to say, Dominic, if you're watching this, please subscribe. My channel is relatively big now, and it's Co-Clud. So on that note, thank you, Martin. We will be back next week with Strange New Worlds. And until then, live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Cold cut? No.